minutes for everyone to trickle in, as this is another impromptu Mystery School Live. I have my hands over my mouth, not the 144. It's 10:44 a.m. as soon as we go live. All right, now that was not planned. I had no clue what time it is. But the divine did, divine timing. All right, now whenever you do come across this live chat, feel free to put a blue heart or a red rose in the comments below. Say hello to me, say hello to your neighbor. Today, we're going to talk about the big transit. And I will say there's a lot of big transits coming up. The transit of tomorrow, which is Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries and coming together, it's going to open doorways and gateways for eclipse season, and it's just going to keep on. All right, this eclipse season that's coming up, there are multiple gateways. In this live today, we're going to talk about how to utilize all of the gateways of this eclipse season. You know, as 2026 is a year of 0 point. Okay, so this eclipse season is bringing all of us to 0 point. It's also a time to tap into your divine inheritance, to tap into your sacred wealth. So this live today is going to be about how do we reclaim our divine inheritance? How do we reclaim our sacred wealth? Yeah, say hello to me in the comments below. Say hello to your neighbor. All right. You need money? Well, I'm going to tell you, baby, today how it is to set the container to actually start receiving all of your manifestations, money included, wealth, prosperity. Hello, Jeremy. How are you? Now, we do have a few cards from the Starseed Oracle deck. Today, if you haven't seen the YouTube thumbnail or the name of this live, we're diving into the mysteries of both Kronos and Hades. Okay, so if you are wanting to or being called to tap into your soul inheritance, your sacred wealth for this upcoming portal, and just in general in your life, 2026 is the year. All right, and again, we started this live at 10:44 a.m., so 144. This light, I put it closer towards me, and you could just feel the heat. The last few lives, this light is very bright. All right, we do have a rose without thorns over here. And then the crumbling, what are you clinging on to? So just a reminder, hello, hello to everybody that's coming in the chat. We have a mystery school session, an initiation into the mysteries of both Hades and Kronos, where you're going to want to tap into both Saturn and Pluto. So go check out in your birth chart. You can write it down right now so that you don't forget. If you can check out your birth chart while we're live here, feel free to go check it out. Where is Pluto in your birth chart? Where is Saturn? Those are your hidden keys to sacred wealth and to your soul inheritance. I'm doing this live today because tomorrow, February 13th, now it is still general and timeless. However, it's a little bit time sensitive as we do have 24 hours until this big transit comes in, okay, where we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. They're coming together, okay? And I have chills as I say that, where per usual, we've been more organized as when I go live, we go on tangents. Okay, so I've been writing things down before we do go live so that we hit all of the keys, you know, it is that we're meant to receive, I guess you could say, or transmit. But when it comes to Neptune and Saturn, your dreams are about to come true this year. Or what, you know, with the Neptune energy, the rose-colored glasses come off. Right? And so that's the energy that we're stepping into. We're stepping into a portal of diamond light. Okay, but by that, I mean diamond. It takes pressure to make a diamond. And that's how Neptune and Saturn, it may be making you feel, you know, when it comes to this eclipse season where nothing is hiding anymore. Neptune, which rules, again, Pisces, dreams, spirituality, the 12th house. And then we do have Saturn, which rules, you know, karma, discipline, routine, structure. When the two come together, your dreams come true and things manifest. When the two come together, they also give you the reminder of like, hey, maybe that's not as realistic, right? Or maybe that's not as soul aligned as you thought it was. So let's redirect. That's exactly what it is that Pluto, not Pluto, Saturn and Neptune are going to reveal to you, but today we're going over the mysteries of Pluto and Saturn in your birth chart. Again, this reading is general and timeless. However, I will admit that it's time sensitive. And that's because tomorrow, February 13th, right before Valentine's Day, we have a huge portal. Okay. And it does change everything, where from here on out, timelines are going to start splitting. And by that, it's choices. And whenever, I've always said this too, whenever we channel these timelines, highest truth, right? There are no timelines. Highest truth is you're a multidimensional being. And highest truth is you're a multidimensional being. There are no timelines. However, there are timelines that you could work with. There's astrology that you can work with. Okay, so just tap in to the energy it is that the collective is stepping into, and always remain sovereign in your own power. I'm going to get to the comments over here. If anyone can be a moderator, I love Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ so much. If anyone could be a moderator, feel free to put a red rose in the comments below, and I will make you a moderator of the chat. So we can just filter the chat as we are moving forward. Hi, J.A. Mike. Hi, J.A. Mike. Hi, Edmund. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Misty. I'm doing well. How are you? Hi, Kais Baby. Hi, Marissa. Yes. Okay, Kais Baby. I'm going to make you a moderator over here. Managing moderator. There we go. Okay. There you go. Thank you, Kais Baby. All right, so we'll get started on the Mystery School transmission, and feel free, if you have any questions, if you have anything it is that you want to add or to share, put it in the comments below, as this is an open conversation, and always is. When it comes to, so let's talk about the gods, right? Now, Hades in astrology is Pluto. Saturn in astrology is Kronos. In Mystery School, because in this channel, this particular channel, we channel the ancient mystery schools and ancient wisdom through tarot. And mostly for Pisces, but for all signs as well. All the ancient souls are welcome. And when it comes to archetypal consciousness in Mystery School, each god or goddess, you don't pray out to a god or a goddess, you become it. There was no such thing as like, I'm a devotee. In Mystery School, you're either God body or you're not. And by that, I mean integrating the consciousness, the wisdom, right? So you're not calling out to Hades or Kronos. And what am I getting at here? It's all Carl Jung theory. And so when it comes to Saturn and Pluto in your birth chart, those are archetypes of you. Hades or even Kronos is an archetype in your birth chart, a part of you. And as you integrate and reclaim that part of you that is in your Saturn and Pluto, the two planets that everybody avoids, or most people avoid, Saturn and Pluto, that's where your hidden wealth is. That's where your hidden gems are. However, it's the most uncomfortable to the ego. So we're going to dive into it today. Thank you, Jay and Mike. Yeah, thank you for being here. Hi, Marlon. How are you? Hi, Amy. All right, so let's get into this Mystery School transmission. The pressure is not random. All right, so approaching this eclipse season again, we're approaching a quantum leap, right? And it is a choice, but it requires you to become the diamond, okay? And by that, I mean pressure, okay? There is divine pressure with Saturn and Neptune coming up. Nothing hides. But by that, what do we mean? The parts inside of you, the parts that are not in alignment, the emotions, the people around you, all of that is going to be coming up for eclipse season, as eclipse season is always a gift to quantum leap. I've been saying that for 5 years. For anyone who's been watching me for 5 years, eclipse season, you see me disappear. And that's because it's time to quantum leap. Where eclipse season, pressure is on, but it truly is a portal where you can really close out lower timelines and quantum leap into the higher. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Misty. Saturn in retrograde. Yes, Pluto. Saturn and Pluto are in retrograde. That's why we have the live today. Yeah, I've become besties with Saturn, and Saturn has been actually blessing me. Okay, Saturn's been blessing me. Saturn, you don't have to fear the Saturn when you become besties with Saturn. A book came to me in the algorithm, Carl Jung. Oh, yeah, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Carl Jung when it comes to both Hades and Kronos as gods. But again, we're looking at the archetype of Saturn and Pluto, actually, in your birth chart. So feel free to go check out where yours is. So if you have been feeling the divine pressure lately, identity pressure, time pressure, pressure to get things done, again with the time. As soon as I say that, there is a call, okay? A pressure to answer calls, right? A pressure to get things done. Pressure, spiritual pressure. It's actually not chaos. You know, where there's a lot of energy that's in this portal, it is not necessarily chaos, or it asks you to, to discern true chaos, which will always actually bring your life to order. It's bringing things up. The chaos is not increasing. There is more light as the sun comes out, literally. There is more light in the collective, which is revealing Pluto and Saturn. We do have Neptune there too. It's revealing for the collective what it is that we don't see so that we can quantum leap and move forward. All right, where Pluto and Saturn is working on you. And again, it takes pressure to make a diamond. So this live is going to be how and why do Hades or Kronos, or you look at your birth chart, again, Saturn and Pluto, how do these two energies in your astrology chart that absolutely everyone avoids or feels is uncomfortable, how do they actually help you with wealth? Now, it's not Jupiter. So Jupiter is not going to give you anything, without actually doing the work, which is why most people see Jupiter as a wealth planet. Jupiter just gives to anybody. But Jupiter doesn't care if you're ready to hold it or not, which is why I say you do, those money bowls and rituals with your Jupiter sign. It could come in. Has it lasted, or does it last, right? So Saturn and Pluto are not planets where it's like, oh, I need money for, I don't know, car, rent, whatever it is. Let me do like a money bowl. It's not going to do that for you. It's going to give you legacy wealth. So when you work with Pluto and Saturn, you are establishing a wealth foundation. And just a reminder to look at wealth through the eyes of Lakshmi. Everybody has their own soul blueprint. Is this Lakshmi? No, this is prosperity. Wang Mu over here, okay? Through the eyes of Lakshmi, for what that is for you, different for everyone. So general and timeless. But sacred wealth, wealth that comes in from a soul level, that manifests from a soul level, is crystallized, but it's not built in comfort. It's built in compression. And so Pluto and Saturn ask for you to go through some sort of soul diamond, right? Evolution, in order for your sacred wealth to crystallize, to manifest, whatever that is. When I mention the word sacred wealth, again, I speak from a Lakshmi consciousness. So it could be money, wealth, and prosperity. It can be abundance of all forms. There's an abundance of health, of joy, of love, of resources, all of those things. So when it comes to Saturn, a lot of people don't like Saturn, all right? Like a lot of people avoid Saturn, I used to years ago. As Saturn has been in Pisces, because I have so many Pisces placements, that Saturn became my bestie. All right. And it's interesting. Certain Saturn placements where people are like, whoa, something's going to happen. I actually get really blessed. But that's because I work with Saturn. It's actually a wealth planet. It's just nobody actually wants to touch Saturn as a wealth planet, nor Pluto, because you got to do some work. So Saturn's not restriction. Saturn actually reveals to you the program, the structure to receive your sacred wealth, of your journey of sacred wealth. But most people don't want to do that, right? Especially mutable signs. I'm a Pisces. I'm sure most of you are Pisces too. Saturn is self-governance, it's self-authority. Saturn is the part of you that decides, this is who I am. But the problem with that, sometimes is we just decide this is who I am. Right? From our programs, the way it is that we grew up, things like that. And Saturn in our astrology knows who we are beyond our conditioning. So we think we know who we are, which is why we're always avoiding Saturn. Saturn reveals, hey, this is actually a little bit uncomfortable, but this truly is the routine, the structure, the discipline that brings in and crystallizes all of your sacred wealth, your blessings, the protection, all of that. So when Saturn's the part of you that decides, this is who I am, these are my standards, and this is what I build from that. But again, Saturn gives you in your astrology chart. So for example, you, Amy, it says Saturn in Capricorn, 9th house. So 9th house Sagittarius of teaching, travel, expansion, Jupiter, things like that. With Capricorn, it's going to highlight those particular areas, where, Capricorn is also like it's ruled by Saturn, so you actually have Saturn in its home, which means that maybe your life does have ringing in ear, maybe it resonates or not, that your life has or requires some sort of structure, especially when it comes to, say, spirituality, teachings, Jupiter energy, 9th house is the guru, etc. For example, my Saturn is in the 6th house. So, which is the opposite of what I like, actually. But as I became friends with Saturn, my life got better in all areas. My life improved in all areas. I have a lot of Pisces in 12th house placements. You mean to tell me I have to have a routine and live like a schedule? Are you kidding me? That was me years ago, where I have so much Pisces and 12th house is Pisces. So I just have a lot of Piscean house or traits in my birth chart. No, I don't want to follow a schedule. No, you don't tell me what to do. I can escapism and dream the rest of my life away if I really wanted to. Saturn, unfortunately, won't let me. But that's a key right there, right? Where, again, my life actually got better as I owned my Saturn in the 6th house. 6th house is Virgo. 6th house, those devotion, routines, and structures. How does life get better? How does wealth, health, all of those things become more organized and better and manifest a little bit more consistently, right? And smoother. For me, doing the opposite of what I like to do, having a schedule, which I do. I have a big, schedule now, and I've had it for years now. But it's been surrendering for a few years to that Saturn. And now Saturn is my bestie. Okay, yes, it's a balance of the dreams though, Misty. It's a balance of the dreams because I still need some freedom. And that's the thing about Saturn, right? Where I don't know if anyone else agrees. I learned to feel free with Saturn. Saturn is not punishing me. Saturn is not limiting me. I would have been limited living the daily routine and structure that I was before that had no structure. It was very Piscean. However, you can anchor, right? Even if, you're someone who has a lot of Pisces, rather, very spiritual, very, you love to dream. You just want to be. There are different ways you can structure that where you can still do that. And you can have that, where life is like a moving, walking ceremony. And at least it is for me. My life is walking magic. It has to be. I got too much Pisces. There's no way. But sacred wealth, when it comes to Saturn, cannot stabilize in someone who does not self-govern. Someone just said you're welcome. Okay, so you're welcome. Actually, that's a Kronos archetype that just messaged me too. So Saturn says you're welcome, quite literally, because I call him Kronos. Jupiter and Sagittarius, Saturn and Taurus. Ooh, Saturn and Taurus, nice. Saturn will let you. How? Well, not that Saturn won't let me. Again, it's like Saturn and Pluto in astrology. They're actually your hidden wealth. It's not Jupiter you want to go to. Like the TikTok things of like make a money bowl. Now, I will share this. If whatever your Jupiter sign is, if you want to light a money candle, you got to do it when the moon is in your Jupiter sign. If your Jupiter sign is in Taurus, do it when the moon's in Taurus. That's when it'll come in. That's when it'll come in very quickly. For anyone who wants to know. But for Saturn and Pluto, it gives you the container to hold wealth for 7 or more years. And all of that, would be up to you. So when we talk about self-governing, right, that's really working with your Saturn, which again, if you don't know, well, what does self-governing look like? What does it look like for me to own my autonomy, my authority, for me to own how I best and uniquely operate in this world? That's why we have astrology, which again, astrology is just a tool. This you could very well find on your own or discover on your own, but I will say, for anyone who's wondering, that secret is revealed in your birth chart. Go to Saturn, go to Pluto. The zodiac sign in your house reveals how to obtain this hidden wealth of yours. If your discipline fluctuates, your income fluctuates, what you're manifesting fluctuates. I wrote down standards. We've been talking about standards when it comes to wealth, when it comes to Saturn and Pluto. And, some people see it as personal standards. I will see it more like a soul standard. It's your soul protection. Hey, in order to thrive in this realm, in this lifetime, this is the type of protection and structure or standards that you need to continue to thrive as a soul. And again, it's like we got past lives, soul lessons, all of that. Do you know your birth time? I do. Your Saturn's retrograde all the time. Maybe your Saturn was retrograde when you were born. There was some Saturn things going on when I was born. I don't know what those two were doing. Because there was a lot of Saturn from my birth. But if you can actually go to the day that you were born and you can see what's going on, or what was going on rather, where if you go to the day you were born, it actually means something. If you were born during eclipse, a big full moon, things like that. So Saturn builds your container. Saturn is the container. It tells you what to do to build your container rather. And sacred wealth, all of your manifestations, they do require containment. So the intention of why I'm giving this today is what I've seen being on here for the past 5 years is, oh, nothing's working for me. All of the, TikTok, YouTube, all of these coaches, nothing's working. What I've noticed, now I have actually worked with a lot of different coaches. I have worked with, collaborated with, I have such beautiful soul brothers and sisters of all walks. I have gurus, I know millionaire coaches. I know a lot of different people of all different modalities and walks. But what I've noticed, right, is like, oh, that doesn't work for me. Oh, I worked with this person, it's not working for me. What I realized was these high-ticket coaches or the millionaire coaches, just even TikTok spirituality, what you see on YouTube, I don't see people speaking of how to hold the wealth. So, people, how do I channel this? When you're searching for how to increase wealth or abundance, or actually just how to manifest in your life, most likely you're going to be in the root chakra. So you're YouTubing, Googling, TikToking this information from your root chakra. I really need, my rent, my this, my that. Most of the time, why are you looking for how to increase your wealth? Or the first, say a few times that you're looking, you're in the root chakra. And so, again, it's like, I've seen people, I've gone myself to these millionaire coaches, high ticket coaches, or this or that, or say even the healing sessions. There are people, let me go on an ayahuasca retreat I want to make more money. Let me purge things out. Sometimes that gives you the opposite. Okay. And what I've noticed again is that in all of these different social media platforms or these different high ticket coaches, none of them were giving the tips of how to hold the wealth. And so I would see so many people, I've been through it myself over the past 10 years, where say I pay $1,000 and then, it's like, oh, that didn't work. Actually, it really did work. At the time, I didn't have the container to hold it, but they were actually giving me the tools and resources. And then, so that's where we are here of, I'm sick and tired actually of, seeing people who do deserve wealth, deserve light workers, just light workers. You have such a good heart. You don't even have to wonder about anything. You have a good heart. You are living, say, in your soul mission and purpose, and you just simply deserve more. You do deserve to receive all of your manifestations, anyone that's in alignment with your soul mission, your soul business, your soul purpose, you deserve it. And again, I've been in this position. I've seen so many other people in this position. How do I increase my wealth? None of the information they're seeking is even telling them how to maintain and to contain the wealth. So they can manifest it, it goes right out. Or it just never comes in and they're just constantly searching and searching. So when it comes to Pluto, right? And then that's why all of my teachings here on the sacred wealth requires containment, which is why we're diving into Saturn and Pluto right before that Saturn and Neptune transit tomorrow. So again, whenever you're watching this, it can be for you, but I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit time sensitive because we do have a big Saturn and Neptune transit tomorrow. Bye-bye. See you later. Have a good one. So when it comes to Pluto, Pluto does not build. Pluto reveals. Most people don't even look into their Pluto in their birth chart. Pluto is actually a wealth planet, so is Saturn. So Pluto reveals to you what is it that you need to transform or evolve to reclaim your hidden wealth, to reclaim all of just those different things. You know, your hidden wealth, your hidden power, right? Of whatever that is. The hidden parts of you, which is where your treasures are. Treasure hunt. That is, hi Daniel. Your Pluto's in Libra. Beautiful. Pluto. Yeah, see you later, Marlon. Thank you for being here. So, Pluto reveals the parts of your life that maybe you feel are shaky, you know, insecure, that you're not quite happy with. Pluto is going to reveal where you're attached to things, to people, to identities. Pluto is going to reveal to you where are you leaking your energy? Where are you undercharging? Pluto reveals to you your true worth by revealing to you all of the ways that you have not honored your true worth and value as a soul. Pluto is going to reveal to you, which is the Hades energy, where you are afraid of your own power or parts of you that are still seeking validation in certain ways. As you integrate that shadow of Pluto, which Pluto's ruled by Scorpio, so that's a big shadow, the hidden wealth reveals itself and manifests for you. What I will say too, Saturn and Pluto, the wealth that comes from that is crystallized. Jupiter is not. What about Saturn? What's this about Saturn leaving Pisces? Thank God. Does anybody else feel that? Thank God. Where Saturn is leaving Pisces into Aries, and it's going to ask us to get to work. You know, Saturn in Pisces, it does reveal illusion. It asks us to go within. There's a focus on spirituality and all of those Piscean themes. Saturn in Aries, though, is going to reveal to you, hey, you know, Pisces, they like to dream and sit around. Aries, let's get to work. Let's get to co-creating. And that's what Saturn is going to reveal as it leaves Pisces. So Pluto strips you from illusions. And illusion is expensive. It is expensive to live in illusion. Because what are you leaking? Your power. Sacred wealth, too, that can be coming in for you. Abundance. Soulmates. All of these things can be coming in for you. But if we remain in the illusion, right? Illusion becomes expensive. You know, we speak about sacred wealth here. It's actually more expensive to live in an illusion. You're not receiving what truly is actually resonating with you on a soul level, even the things and the people, right? Living in illusion where you just spent 10 years with that person or in that environment or this or that, when you could have been there or here and thrive, right? And fly, expand. Neptune and Sagittarius. Awesome. You pay for illusion and delayed wealth. And so, you know, again, none of us really want to face Saturn, or I gave you my Saturn story. I don't want you mean to tell me I have to have a routine and structure? You're not going to tell me what to do. And then Saturn said, phew. And so Saturn and I became besties. And that I'm talking about Saturn in Pisces for the past 3 years. And finally going into Aries. You know, when we do not own our shadow, right? The shadow integration, or say your Pluto power, that even that Pluto shadow, that, oh, it was in Scorpio, both Pluto and Saturn. Oh, yeah. That's a powerhouse, though. That really is a powerhouse, but I will say that has a lot of themes of so much shadow integration, but I will say such a powerhouse, and there's so much hidden wealth there as well. Yeah, you pay for illusions. So illusions are actually what's expensive, and you're not even spending anything. You're spending your soul value, your time, your energy, in delayed wealth, again, in delayed blessings, in delayed whatever it is, by avoiding the Pluto, right? Or the transformation. And it brings that in for you, right? It's manifesting from the illusions rather than from your truth. So Pluto says, if you want power, you're going to have to integrate it. If you want sacred wealth, you have to face yourself. And again, like Pluto, people don't know that that's a hidden wealth planet. It asks you to truly face your shadows, to integrate the shadow. And there's hidden treasures and wealth behind your Pluto integration. But again, most people don't even want to, they don't want to talk about it, right? Pluto, Saturn, it does take time. So I'm so sorry to disappoint you, but in this live day, actually I did. I did give you a candle ritual that can work in 24 hours. I did. However, Saturn and Pluto, unfortunately, I'm not giving you a wealth tip that can manifest tomorrow, but it can if you've been working on it. However, I can guarantee you that I'm giving you something that's going to last you a lifetime. This is going to last you 7 to 35 plus years. Pluto, the integration of your Pluto and Saturn energy. It truly is sacred wealth. It removes illusions. It just asks you to heal and to do some work. And it does ask to get a little bit uncomfortable. There's so much that comes from it. It's temporary uncomfortability for your soul to be liberated, to be free in different ways. Scorpio rising, me too. My mother has those same placements. Pisces, no, she's a Cancer sun, Pisces moon, Scorpio rising. Facing self is the scariest and hardest thing. Yes, and you survived, right? Where Pluto, it does rule death and transformation, but it asks us to own where like nothing is dying, right? Most humans fear that D word, right? And truth is, everything can only be transformed. There is no such thing as the D word. There is only transformation. So I'm going to read what Daniel said here. C. What sign is moving into Pisces? Aries. We have Neptune and Saturn that are moving into Aries. They're coming together in Aries. And that's going to be starting tomorrow. And I'm going to just be honest. This whole eclipse season, get ready. March 20th, we also have a Neptune, rose-colored glasses coming off. Now is the time, to get real. However, it's not the patriarchal way of like, get realistic. Get realistic just about how you best operate, because things are going to start manifesting for you. And that has everything to do with Saturn and Pluto and everything else it is that we talk about. But today we're diving into Saturn and Pluto. Thank you, Misty Love. Thank you for the floating heart. I send you so much love from my heart to yours. I see your aura also as like a beautiful green. It's just this beautiful guan yin green color, Misty. So just sharing that with you as well. My heart to you. Now we dive into the gods for archetypes, of course. And the Carl Jung theory, which again, in ancient mystery schools, so, the term God body is basically, one will go to mystery school, they become initiated into a particular god or goddess. They become it, right? God body. And so when I speak of archetypes, that's what I'm talking about. Archetypal consciousness, where I'm not talking about lighting candles for Hades, lighting candles for Kronos, archetypal consciousness. And this is every deity that exists. In ancient language, Saturn was called Kronos and Pluto was called Hades. But we're not talking about mythology. We're talking about the psyche, okay? Carl Jung, again, I know I talk a lot about gods and goddesses. Every god and goddess is an archetype of your mind. Carl Jung, that's it. I don't call out to gods and goddesses of like, do this for me and do that for me. No, they're all an archetype of you and your own consciousness. So we're talking about the psyche. Carl Jung taught that archetypes live in our unconscious and subconscious. They are patterns of power inside of us, or the power that we have not yet integrated. So Kronos, the one who ate his children, Kronos really did eat his children. There's a lot more to that story, but Kronos is he's a god. Like he's a Saturn, okay? Chronos is the archetype of time, structure, authority, and maturity. Now Hades is the son of Kronos. So Hades, Demeter, all those gods are the son of Kronos. So Kronos is Hades' dad. If you do not consciously integrate these forces, they unconsciously control you, and that could be through fear, right? Misuse of power, fear, of yourself, insecurity, leaked power in some way, shape, or are you really wearing green, Misty? I do have remote view. I never use it at all. Like for the people who like telepathy, astral travel, I was never someone that, how do I word this? My gifts are clairvoyances. They're very natural. So I actually don't have the story of trying to open my third eye. It's always been so wide open. It's just, how do we just ground here? How do we just enjoy this human experience? That was my journey. I love to know that you're wearing green though. I saw green. And that's also just your color. Let's see. Where did Kronos go? There he goes. Kronos is the archetype of time, structure, authority, and maturity. Hades is the archetype of the underworld and many other things too. Shadow, hidden power, as well as wealth, where Hades is the god of the earth, right? So the earth and the earth's riches and gems, but Hades, yes, he's a god of wealth, and he actually is the god of wealth, Pluton. Which is Pluto. Okay, so Pluto, again, is Pluton. You go through the transformation, you get the hidden wealth. As you integrate the shadow, the power, again, you go through that transformation. Let's see. Yeah, unintegrated Chronos. So when you don't integrate your Saturn, you fear time, you fear structure. And I just use myself as an example because I am the most, or was the most rebellious person you probably ever meet. Truly. Authority? Tuh. You thought I was, I don't know where to start. But I was even a child that I would talk to adults like, there's no fear of authority. Okay? But Saturn has at least taught me personally, just like when you work with Saturn, you see it from a different perspective. You don't feel like you're blocked or stopped. Again, it's like, say a mother or father that's like, hey, actually, that really is the best way. And you're like, no, I want to be free. I have a free will, And so I feel like it's just more of spiritual maturity, where it's like, no, free will. Actually, if you work with your Saturn exactly as it says in your birth chart, it really is a roadmap to sacred wealth and to all of your desires, to your dream life, your soul purpose, to living your soul purpose. So unintegrated Chronos or Saturn, you fear structure and time. But again, like a kid that doesn't want to be in a classroom, which I'm still that kid though. I'll be in a classroom for 4 hours, not 8. And then the unintegrated Pluto, which is the unintegrated Hades. You fear your own power, where you're like constantly hiding your own power or constantly talking yourself out, distracting this and that from your own power, which is in the shadow, which is in your healing with the Pluto. So say the power is of your voice. Right? Your power is actually in your voice. You dim your light all the time. You actually stray away from trying to disturb the peace. You don't want to speak up. Say things like that. It asks you to heal those parts of you. What's hiding, right? To reveal those shining parts of you. It takes pressure to make a diamond. And that's exactly what this eclipse season is going to be. It takes the pressure to make a diamond, which is you. By the end of this eclipse season, you're coming out a diamond. Kronos becomes discipline, or Saturn becomes your soul discipline. Hades or Pluto becomes your depth. When you have depth and discipline, you have sacred wealth. All right. And again, Pluto and Saturn, it lays the container for your wealth. Okay. So whatever you're already doing, Saturn and Pluto, I almost say Neptune because tomorrow we do have a big transit with Neptune. Saturn and Pluto ensure that you are ready mentally, emotionally, physically, your physical realm, everything is going to be ready for the sacred wealth, the manifestations, and everything that's coming in for you. You love greens and blues. Oh, do you not live near the ocean? I live about an hour away from the ocean. Elevated Awakenings. Yes. Thank you for being here, Desire. Mythology by Edith Hamilton. If anyone wants or needs a book to read, Danielle is recommending Mythology by Edith Hamilton. So why does this matter? Why does this Pluto and Saturn stuff matter? Pluto and Saturn can seem kind of boring, you know, but again, it's like asking us to own that part of us that why wouldn't you want the routine, the structure, the system? That's all that Pluto and Saturn reveals to you is this is the system that makes things manifest and work for you, that calls in everything soul aligned. So right now, as we approach this eclipse season, the collective is stripped of fantasy, that Piscean energy. Right? Where actually your dreams can come true. Your dreams really can. If again, you have that routine, that structure for things to come in. You know, or it's also going to reveal to you just different parts of yourself. And it's collective wide. And that's totally okay. All right. Where you're going to be awakening to your hidden treasures, your hidden wealth. But I also encourage you to look at it in that way. You know, to look at it as, wow, like more of myself is being revealed to me. And my hidden wealth, my hidden treasures, all of that is what's being revealed. Bye, Daniel. Have a good one. Ooh, Danielle, you are Pisces Sun, Gemini Moon, Leo Ascending. Shout out to the Pisces. All right. And so quick wins are dissolving in the collective. When it comes to the energy of 2026, there's two different things online that you're going to see. And just in the world, though, quick wins. So again, like that Jupiter, I'm just telling you this, where you can do the quick TikTok, you know, money spell, bowls, things like that. If you're not doing the hidden work, you know, it's going to, like sand going through your fingers, that's what's going to happen to your manifestations. Also, when it comes to like, how do I word it? Spirituality that is not lived or experienced. So you know how like, past few years, it's like, well, I just took a 2-hour course and all of a sudden I'm a shaman, you know, or this or that. Or, you know, like you're just reading things and then posting things. That's also not going to work anymore. Where this year, it requires you to have your lived experience. Now, it's going to be different for everyone. Not everyone is patriarchal, right? But key is experience. By patriarchal, I mean like, you know, like you go to college and things like that. Experience is just simply experience. An ancient tribe, I have a lot of respect for those shamans that have never seen a college and have lived experience of years and years and years beyond what money can buy you. Whatever experience is for you. Let's see. Yeah, and even like marketing too. And I talk about this in my email newsletter. Feel free to join my email newsletter. It's completely free. That's where all the goddess juice and the deets are. Emotional marketing is not going to be, it's not going to have the same effect as it used to have. Because you know thyself more. And by that, I am referring to like the high ticket, say millionaire coaches of book with me so that you're no longer broke. They're doing that on purpose. Like it makes them like, oh, I'm not broke. Let me book with them. That's what's behind that marketing technique. That is true. That's what's behind it. That's not going to work anymore. You know, where you're not going to say read things online of like do this, join this if you want to change your life, give up everything, even if you're on your last dollar, it doesn't matter. Like that's not going to work anymore. Where sometimes it's true too, like, you know, where sometimes people do need convincing of like, actually step out of your limiting beliefs. This can work out for you if you invest in yourself. However, there's going to be a fine line between the emotional marketing of like, well, you're broke and that's why you got to book with me. I've actually seen that. And so that's why I say that. And I don't agree with it. But, you know, again, like there's just difference. Ethical marketing is really what's going to be taking over kind of thing, where it's going to be ethical marketing. You can't convince someone who knows thyself, right? So like, oh, you're not booking with me because you're just not ready. No, it's just not in alignment. And if you want someone like, you know, say if you're a soul business owner, practitioner, you want what's soul aligned. You don't want to have to sell anything anyway. So this message is also for all of those practitioners out there, the soul business owners. You're marketing from an authentic, ethical place. It's soul aligned. But soul aligned is just soul aligned, right? You wouldn't have to do any of that. But also, like, say in consumerism, right? Like, I know for me, when I get the DMs of like, say back to back or this or that, I will book with you when I book with you. There is nothing and no one to convince me. See, like my journey with Saturn has been a journey, but surface level is also cracking, where we cannot do things from just a surface level. No surface level, no emotional marketing, no quick wins, no, it's like, let me dress up in spirituality, pretend that I study, pretend that I do this and that, pretend that I have lived experience, and none of that is going to fly anymore. Where again, in online spirituality especially, you just show up, you pull a few cards, let's see if we go viral or not. That's not going to work anymore, where it's really going to truly take soul alignment. It's going to take you doing the work, we're going to see a lot more co-creation rather than manifestation is also just what's energetically coming through in this channel too, where there is a difference between manifestation and co-creation. Manifestation is, I have free will and I just want a beautiful life and that's what I want to do. And I can have anything I want to have. You can. You very well can. However, I will say you could actually save thousands of dollars and years of your life and time and energy by operating from your soul blueprint and figuring out, okay, but how do you get it from how your soul blueprint best operates? Just because you see someone online that manifested their life of I'm a millionaire high ticket coach and I do all this and I do all that, it doesn't mean that that's how it looks on you, right? And I see people do it all the time where they're consuming online spirituality and it's like, well, how do I do this, for myself? Or you're trying to live someone else's, say, life. You actually can have everything that they have in alignment with your soul blueprint. So your wealth is going to look different on someone else, on you than it does on someone else. You may be someone that is really connected to the earth. Say that millionaire high ticket coach that you watch, they have the placements for it. Like that, actually they have Taurus in their second house throughout the whole thing. But that's also why I teach what I teach here, where it's not even about like, how do I get that? How do you best operate when it comes to your wealth, your mission, your business, everything? That's all in your human design, your birth chart, maybe your soul destiny, Akashic records. Maybe it's a blend of all of those things. But here we are rather talking about Saturn and Pluto. So here, this is Pluto. If you don't have structure, that's where Saturn steps in. You cannot build legacy on vibes. You cannot build a soul legacy on just vibes alone, or just the hope, faith, and trust, that's where the inner masculine comes in. Both Pluto and Saturn are masculine energy. And so it asks our inner masculine, hey, can we provide the structure, the protection, the boundaries, the daily routine, spiritual routine, whatever that looks like? Can we add in that masculine to our visions, goals, and ideas, which is the feminine? Boom, co-creation. If you're manifesting and say just with your goals, ideas, and visions, this is the kind of life I want. I feel like I'm called to this life, but there's no masculine. It doesn't come in, or things come in and they quickly are lost, or leaked out of your energetic field. So you cannot build wealth on inconsistency. You cannot command a higher position without some sort of, and how do I word it? It's spiritual emotional maturity, but more of the spiritual maturity. And that's where Saturn and Neptune is going to hit us tomorrow. And hit us in a good way. Where again, Saturn and Neptune tomorrow, February 13th, it reveals, it reveals in your foundation what is ready to receive your dream life, what needs a little bit more work. So for those of you that are on the Patreon, this is where you would refer back to the spiritual law of octave, the occult law of success, which is, it's a just very general law, that might show you where it is you are on that chart when it comes to this Neptune and Saturn transit. So Saturn is asking you, are you serious? Are you serious about what you're building? Are you serious about yourself? Pluto asks you, are you honest with yourself? Have you seen all parts of yourself? And it's going to reveal those parts to you so that you can reclaim the wealth of Pluto. Pluto just wants you to see yourself. Saturn wants to know if you're serious about this. The two come together. You have wealth and manifestations or co-creations that are actually crystallized. So even when I'm speaking now, this is quantum science. What I'm speaking is not theory. Pluto and Saturn is crystallized wealth from the fourth plane. So to make this practical, whoever you are, wherever you are, sacred wealth requires delayed gratification. That's Pluto and Saturn energy. Wealth is also found in your nervous system, in your emotions. Right? All of that alchemizes to wealth. And your nervous system, your emotions have everything to do with your manifestations and what comes in and how it's held. Boundary enforcement, so having boundaries and enforcing them. And shadow integration, those parts of you, right, the emotional, mental, ancestral blockages that are actually blockages of wealth. So when we integrate, which Pluto, I will say too, that I didn't add in here, Pluto is an ancestral planet. There are a few of them. Scorpio Pluto is, so I will always remind you there is wealth in your ancestral healing. And by going home to your ancestors and just having some sort of relationship with them, it really reveals that to you. So let's see. Pressure is not punishment. It's just preparation. And again, eclipse season, you are coming out of it a diamond, and there is some sacred divine pressure. So the luxury of containment, cosmic luxury. When I speak of luxury, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to say the word luxury outside of yourself or inside yourself. How does it feel? What comes up for you? Sometimes people just hate the word because they think of materialistic things. That's not what I'm talking about. In my work too, part of the reason why I created this here is I've met people who have it, and the nervous systems, I'm just like, wow, you got it, but the nervous system, where true wealth is truly in the nervous system. Now, true luxury is not flashy, it is contained. True luxury is found within. It's the ability to hold silence, to hold rejection, to wait. To wait. And that's the Pluto and Saturn energy. Luxury is, again, that nervous system that's not in a rush. I'm not going on TikTok trying to find a money bowl or spell of how to do this or that. I'm getting true sacred wealth, soul wealth. I'm okay with waiting, right? We're okay with waiting. Because then what manifests is actually true. It's not from a place of desperation or this or that. It's the ability to hold onto things. It's the ability to not be in a rush. And that's just what luxury is. Again, it's the feeling, the energy. And then from there, things manifest without of you, without leaking it. So Saturn stabilizes your container. Pluto deepens your ability to hold or just your gravity. It attracts wealth, and desperation will repel it. You don't chase when you're structured. So when you're working with Pluto and Saturn, again, the sacred wealth, you have the container for it. There's no chasing. You just rather attract. When you're integrated with your shadow, you don't beg. Hades! My Hades soul brother just messaged me. I love that. You build. I gotta share his channel too. Go check out our soul brother. He's actually a Pisces as well. HB144 HB Kennel. He is our soul brother. He's a Pisces as well. He makes videos channeling through animals and the animal kingdom. So you could feel free to go join him. He has so much Hades energy. So I love that he messaged during this live. You build. Okay, so life is the mystery school. We know how this goes. Life is the mystery school. If you have the eye to see, you can see where life is always initiating you. Saturn and Pluto are two planets in astrology that are initiating you. And again, when you know what to do with the initiations, you can just go through to the next level, right? So to close this out with life is the mystery school, every delay is Saturn strengthening your endurance. So things are delayed for divine reasons beyond the ego. That's a Saturn initiation when something has been delayed. Every ego death is Pluto refining your identity. by releasing what you thought was your identity. Every collapse of yours, which again, this is all like working with Saturn and Pluto. Go look up the Enneagram or the law of octave in mystery school and occultism, where that's just a general law and symbol that will show you these parts. So like, in tarot, oh, you're in a karmic cycle. Actually, you're not. If you're a mystery school initiate, you would never think that you're in a karmic cycle. Sometimes you can be. But sometimes you think you're in a karmic cycle because of duality. Actually, you're in an interval. That collapse, right, of the foundation shows you, reveals to you the part of your foundation, whether that be within or without of you, that needed refining and tweaking. That could be a person, right? It could be a limiting belief within you that is revealed, whatever that may be. Life is not blocking you. Life is initiating you. Sacred wealth does not go to the most talented or this or that. It goes to those who are self-governed, who are in their authority, and who have the container to hold it. All right, so to close this out here, there we go. If you do feel the pressure, because tomorrow is, again, February 13th, we're general timeless. However, I will say this particular live is a little bit time sensitive, where if you feel the divine pressure, tomorrow, February 13th, Neptune and Saturn, they go into Aries and they're going to meet, okay? And then from here on out, baby, it is go time. It is go time through all of eclipses from tomorrow here on out. So get ready. If you feel the divine pressure, it's good pressure. Know how to just work with it. Pressure creates diamonds. The name of Hades and his diamond aspect is Hades Atomostos, which Hades actually has many names, but it actually goes very deep of Hades and the diamond. Saturn builds your throne. Pluto will test the throne. If your foundation is strong, no one can remove you. Nothing and no one can remove you. And it's really just if your foundation, if your roots are strong, the tree sways in the wind, but the tree doesn't fall. Maybe there are maybe a few dead branches that needed to fall anyway. The tree still stands because you're deeply rooted in your truth, your soul truth, your mission, and your purpose. Reclaiming your discipline, reclaiming your depth, and it's reclaiming your authority, because sacred wealth does not chase you and it doesn't chase anyone. It waits for you to meet the frequency. You are not behind. For some of you, you need to hear that you are not behind. You are being structured. Oh, it's tomorrow, Friday the 13th. 13 is a goddess number. So tomorrow is Goddess Day. Get into your God or Goddess frequency. You're not behind. You're being structured. You're being refined like a diamond. And refinement is power. Okay? That's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. Oh, thank you, Misty Love. Oh my gosh, I actually have some coffee here too. Thank you so much. How does everybody like their coffee? Do you ever think about that? The intrusive thoughts. We went through all of this and I'm wondering, I wonder how you like your coffee. Maybe that's just the 5th house Pisces in me. Everything is romantic. How do my followers like their coffee? I want to know. I got half decaf today, and I only use cane sugar if I use sugar. I don't always use sugar, but if I do, it's cane sugar. Yes, Venus Goddess Day. I love it. All right, we're going to get in 3 cards. Just a reminder of the cards that came out for this transmission today. We have Rose Without Thorns. You have a right to your joy, peace, and the sweetness of life. Where Pluto and Saturn, right? You can be a rose without thorns because Pluto and Saturn are giving you the container that you don't have to worry about, someone desecrating your rose, right? Same with sugar. Oh, wow, you guys thank you. I really do want to know. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to do a coffee meetup. We're going to have to do a coffee live of one of these mystery school teachings. Oat milk, cinnamon, and honey. Okay. I sometimes put cinnamon in the ground coffee part and I mix it. Or if I make it myself, the ground coffee, I actually add cinnamon here's a tip for you. If you want to increase your wealth and abundance, just of like, say, speaking it upon your life, when you're making that coffee, pour some cinnamon. Speak wealth, good health, joy, all that upon your life, and then drink it. Honey is also good to sweeten your coffee with too. Black and sugar, or with everything. Yes, I either do it with no sugar or just like with cane sugar, some sort of natural sugar if I can. Ooh. For Misty Love 6923, words of authority, Pluto and Saturn, pay for Misty Love's blue rose tattoo. For her tattoo. I pray that it is funded by a known and unknown source, and please do email me. I would love to see it as well. And maybe even put something towards it too. I'm getting tattoos Friday. Coconut milk. All right. Yes, that's so exciting. I do have a lot of roses on me. I've never added the color blue though. I have 18. How many tattoos do you all have? These are my other intrusive thoughts. I can only be serious for a little bit. Okay, Saturn works with me. Where Saturn's like, okay, Jocelyn, you've been serious enough. Let's go. Yes, Misty, please show it to me. You bet. Oh, whoever, 10 of Pentacles over here. You better close the door, shut the door of any negative thinking. Ace of Swords coming to your truth. 10 of Pentacles, a legacy is your truth. You would like to get your hair done for your birthday on Sunday? Pluto and Saturn. Get this woman, my beautiful soul sister here, her hair done this Sunday, be specific. You have 11 tattoos? Awesome. Yeah, I do need to add some tattoos, but we'll see when they do come. I have like 16, 17, but they're all hiding. Pluto, Saturn. All of my tattoos are from here to like right here, so nobody actually really ever sees them. And then I have a few on my back. All right, let's get in 3 cards. Well, they wanted to come out already. Let's get 3 cards for just advice of how to tap into your Pluto and your Saturn. For the All Signs Collective, for the collective that is ready to reclaim their sacred wealth, the Star card, inspired. What do we have for all signs? What is some advice on how to tap into their Pluto and Saturn wealth? What is some sign? It says signs here, that's why. What is some advice of how to tap into the collective's Pluto and Saturn wealth? The Wheel of Fortune, be flexible. Okay, 8 of Cups, walking away from that of which doesn't serve you. I'm going to get a few clarifications. What do we have for the collective on how to tap into their Pluto and Saturn wealth? Why the Star card? Why the Knight of Swords for tapping into Pluto and Saturn wealth? Oh, I love it, the Sun card. Why the Wheel of Fortune for tapping into Pluto and Saturn wealth? It's asking you to own your power. Okay, 4 of Swords, peace of mind is my strength. I have one Winnie the Pooh Tigger tramp stamp. I turned 40. Just what you said afterwards. I love it. No, I absolutely love it. Own that inner child. No, that's amazing. I technically have a tramp stamp, but it's divine. Okay, it's the House of Osiris, where maybe 4 to 5 years ago. So the story to my tramp stamp was I was working on my divine masculine energy within, and 4 to 5 years, so somewhere between 4 to 5 years ago, I have the crook and flail of authority of Osiris Asar from ancient Egypt Kemet. And I have it right on my lower back, but for me, it represented the base of the spine, which is the House of Osiris. So the base of the spine, or the root chakra, is Osiris, where the master cell is. Yeah, I was that intentional, or I am that intentional, it just doesn't seem it. And then it goes up the spine to the pineal gland. So that's the story of my tramp stamp. You have a stamp too. See, that was enough serious Saturn. We had enough seriousness. Yeah, and so for me, I got a tattoo there very intentionally, actually, and consciously, where for me it was working on my inner masculine and the authority of Osiris, again, at my root chakra. I am my own authority. My inner masculine is strong. So that was the intention of getting that there. You're 65 now. Oh, Kathy, I love it. Yes, girl, yes. Big Geezer. Hi. My Pluto is in Scorpio, 9th, 10th house Saturn. Oh, yes. That's a powerhouse there, though, too, where your career, owning your power, there's going to be a big shift in your career if it's in like the 10th house energy that it's in, like midheaven. And then first and second house, that's intense energy. You're meant to be like an authority. You're meant to hold power in your career or whatever place you work. You're like that guardian. Like you just rather have that energy. I also just know you well. So you're also just such a beautiful, soft soul. But you do have that energy of like, let's get things done. What's going on here? I just see you like as a coach, like with a whistle. But again, I do actually know you, so your energy is so beautiful and soft as well. It's actually a beautiful balance. Sandwich. I've heard of that, but also sometimes you guys kind of trick me to say things in the comments, so I'm kind of scared to keep talking. I have heard of that, but I'm scared of what you're going to say next. I'm laughing actually at the people laughing at me saying that. You can see the emojis laughing. Yeah, people sometimes trick me in the comments of like, can you say this out loud? I'm like, come on, why did you make me say that? Whole sign changes it from first house. Wow. Yeah, second house is also your powerhouse. So go check out where your second house is, the 8th house, 12th house. Those are all kind of like hidden houses of power. You could have wealth. Second house, Jupiter. So all of the planets for wealth, I'll give you right here, right now. Jupiter, Venus. What else were we just saying? We were just saying second house. Yeah, Jupiter, Venus, Pluto, Saturn. Those are all houses definitely to like work on with wealth. And there's other houses or placements, whatever. There's other ones too, but those four planets rather, there we go. Those 4 planets, if you tap into them, not only do you have quick wealth, you will have legacy wealth as well. All right, now back to the reading here. The star card, the Emperor card. Oh yeah, it's basically saying, are you willing to release control? Look at that, the Devil card, which is Saturn. This is Saturn energy. I accept my shadow self. That's what Saturn is going to reveal to you. It's not a Devil card. Saturn is you. And when, at least maybe 10 years ago, when I would feel Saturn's energy, it's like, no, why are you coming over here and like, messing up my vibe? Because the vibe wasn't true anyway, and by that, it's like Saturn reveals to you your soul's truth beyond who you think you are. So with the Emperor, the star card, I am in control. I am inspired here. Can you release control? The Sun card over here with the Knight of Swords. Actually, when you cut things out that are hard to do, when you release control beyond your control, it actually brings true joy. So again, surrendering to Pluto and Saturn, to me, it's like the Kali Ma energy, right? Kronos, Hades, Kali Ma, those are the energies where it's like, okay, I'm just putting up my hands. But as you do, it's true wealth. It's true joy. Everything is true. When you surrender to these energies in your birth chart, Pluto and Saturn. For some of you, maybe you're interested in the archetypes of Hades and of Kronos. Kronos ate his children, though. I don't know about Kronos. Kronos, he ate his kids. All right, 9 of Swords, Page of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune over here. Pluto and Saturn, it says, I transform worries into stepping stones for growth. Wheel of Fortune, the Page of Wands. Pluto and Saturn are going to ask you, can you release what you think that you know and surrender to the mysteries of life? And what I'm seeing is you getting on like a boat. Maybe it's the Osiris energy of going down the Nile River. If I see you say going down a river in a boat to your truth. Again, like we have true joy, true wealth, true everything here, but it does come with releasing control of what Saturn and Pluto brings into your life. You know, nobody wants to deal with destruction. Nobody wants to move. There's a lot of people moving right now. Nobody wants to move. You know, most people maybe. Transition is just not comfortable. It's never going to be, you know, but ultimately, again, it's that pressure that turns you into the diamond that you are. My entire back is covered in 4+. Oh, that's cool. I have serotonin on this shoulder. I think the next one maybe is DMT. I have serotonin right here. I have the cross right here. And then I have, yeah, Osiris, the crook and flail of authority on my tramp stamp. My root chakra, the base of my spine. Yeah, you know, and tattoos are like a, you know, I'd always said, even before, like when I was 13, my body is a temple. I used to tell it to my mom, who was very Christian, Mom, my body is a temple. I'm going to decorate it. I'm 14, telling my mom that, you know, but tattoos are definitely portals, you know. It can be protection, can be portals, and it could also just be art and fun too. All right, but that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm going to grab just a few oracle cards of advice, and I will send you on your way. Thank you for being here. Now, if you're on my email newsletter, again, it's completely free. Feel free to go to 144bluerosetemple.com. You can join the email newsletter for free. I have been sharing a few different things that we're working on, but we're not quite talking about it rather. But we are in the newsletter. So feel free to join the free newsletter where you get all of the goddess juice and the deets that we don't always share on all of the channels. All right, and done. Just as always, thank you for being here today. Happy birthday to all the Aquarians out there. Pisces season is coming up, Pisces. What do we have for all signs today? Now we do have reclaiming your authenticity. Pluto and Saturn will help you do that. What do we have as advice for working with Pluto and Saturn? What do we have as advice? Visions, all your psychic energy, psychic images, clairvoyance. What do we have for working with Pluto and Saturn? Now, for some of you who are very Neptune energy, so that's Piscean, very spiritual energy, working with Pluto and Saturn actually may also help you release burdens. Again, it's like the structure. Saturn is very grounding, no matter where it is you have it in your sign. You know, so we do have clairvoyance, seeing, psychic images. The heaviness is lifting. Now, for some of you, it could also just be a message because we are live. It's a general timeless reading. Do a cleansing of your astral realm. You can do this with Archangel Michael, even Saint Germain, with the blue or violet flame. You could get a white, blue, or purple candle, and you could just simply ask your angels or your dragons, I'm also getting the dragon realm, to cleanse and clear the astral realm, okay? That's what I'm seeing too. You know, and again, when you work through Saturn and Pluto, you are clearing out those multidimensional blockages too. What do we have for heaviness lifts, clairvoyance, privacy over here? Yeah, for some of you, cleansing and clearing your auric field would be very beneficial. And this is also Pluto-Saturn energy, which we have telepathy over here. So it feels like this message is for those of you who are very spiritual. You are very psychic. You know, you're just open. Working with Pluto and Saturn can actually help even with your energetic boundaries. Again, it's even the shadow work of, this is my space. This is my space, you know, kind of thing. I'm someone who is very sensitive. There was a time of my life that I actually had a lot of social anxiety, you know, where I'm actually a very out there person. I'm also simultaneously a very sensitive person when it comes to energy and this or that. If you are a sensitive that is watching me today, Pluto and Saturn can really help you when it comes to the shadow work and integration, even setting the boundaries, even spiritual boundaries, when it comes to your energy here, all right, in your life. But also even when it comes to sacred wealth, like we were talking about, right? When you have the boundaries, even spiritually, sacred wealth, your energy, etc., does not leak. Okay? So that's what I have for you. I do hope that that resonates in a positive way. We're going to be back here tomorrow for some Pisces and Ancient Souls readings. Yes, thank you for being here. Misty Love with your beautiful green shirt and green auric energy. I don't know if that was your aura or your shirt or both, but probably both. Yes, thank you, Kathy, for being here. I have to work on this light. This light became very bright, and I've been using it the past few times, but it is very bright. All right. Thank you, Hugo. All right, but happy portal. Now, I will say, starting tomorrow, I may not even use the word portals. There is a portal amongst portals amongst portals. Okay, so we are stepping into a portal of divine pressure. I promise, I don't want to even say that, but if you do the work, because that's even the thing with Saturn and Pluto, confirmation, honk. Because I want to say, hey, I promise you're going to turn into a diamond afterwards. But with the honk confirmation, what Pluto and Saturn are saying is there's a potential that you can have this outcome if you do the work, if you're ready for it, and if you have the container. All right, and we're all doing it. All right, Misty Love, yes, please send me that if you have pictures after you get the tattoo, and just email me in general. That's amazing and that's exciting. All right, the blue rose represents mysteries. It is the rose of, and where do I start? It's so many things, the blue rose. They say the blue rose is the only unnatural rose. It grew on Venus. It grew on the dark side of Venus. How can a flower grow in the dark? Only the blue rose can. It represents emotional alchemy. It represents all things of Venus and Venusian energy and Venusian gifts. They also say that Yeshua, before he was crucified, he gave Mary Magdalene in private a blue rose. And so that's also, was it their daughter, Sarah Kali? Did he actually give her the blue rose? We don't know. But that's what the blue rose represents. I love you too, Marissa. And Big Geezer, I don't know where you went, but I love you too. And Emmy. All right, so I'll be back tomorrow. I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings to your day. Happy portal amongst portals amongst portals.